He really said, my mouth still works. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Wicked Bitter channel. I am Travis. I thank you for checking out this video. Well, we got our answer. We now know what CM Punk is going to be doing at WrestleMania. Tonight on Raw, I am actually recording while Raw is on. I actually have it on the TV over there. Tonight on Raw, CM Punk is in Chicago, where Raw is, and he gave the news what he's going to do at WrestleMania. Now, a lot of conflicting responses and comments and opinions on this. A lot of people wanted him to be a special guest referee, which you could see his arm if you're watching Raw. His arm is still in that brace, and it's his right arm, his pinning hand, so that can't work. I mean, unless he pins with his left, which he got down and got to do. He actually showed that he could pin with his left, so it could happen. I think I would have liked him to be a special guest referee. I think that would have been pretty cool to watch. It would add another layer and dynamic to that match between Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins, but hey, whatever. We'll take what we can get. He announced that he will be the special guest commentator for that match. Now, I don't think he's not going to do nothing. I think CM Punk is going to be involved. At some point, I think Punk is going to do something in that match, whether it's before it, in the middle of it, or after it. He's going to do something. He's going to get involved in some kind of way, even if it's to stop McIntyre or Seth from using a chair or something. I feel like Punk will do something, or either one of the guys will come up to him and kind of provoke him or something. And who knows? Maybe this can lead to Priest cashing in. I know everybody wants Priest to cash in right away at WrestleMania. I've mentioned it before. Technically, Damian Priest still has like 3 months to cash in. So if it doesn't happen at WrestleMania, it could happen the very next night on Monday Night Raw. Or he could wait a month, or he can wait 2 months, or do it in Backlash in France or something. I don't know. At this point, Damian Priest has become one of the least interesting Money in the Bank briefcase holders in quite some time. This video is not about Priest, but I don't know what we're doing with Priest here. I think they're going to lose those tag team titles at WrestleMania. I hope both of them. Well, it is an undisputed tag team match, so they are going to lose them if they do lose them, which I would like to see Awesome Truth win the Raw ones and SmackDown go to someone else, but who knows if they're going to split them or if they're just going to have one team beat them. We're gonna find that out. But regardless, I think they're going to lose the tag team titles. We got to focus on Damian Priest being the Money in the Bank briefcase holder for however much longer he's going to be holding it for. I personally would like to see him cash in on WrestleMania. I think that would be pretty cool. But regardless, CM Punk announced that, but it didn't come until they had a really good promo. I mean, this was the segment of the night so far. I'm not even done watching. We still got, another hour of Raw, and I already know this is going to be the best part of the night, other than The Rock showing up, which was really cool, but nothing really happened. He got a great pop, leaned in and said something to Cody, which I'm going to make another video about that. But that was a cool moment. But the CM Punk segment with Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins, that was awesome. You had these dudes just throwing insults at one another. See, it was weird because you can feel the intensity. Like, you could feel it. It was so tense for some reason. At least I got that feeling. Like, these guys genuinely, legit don't like CM Punk. Or he doesn't like them. I don't know. I believe Seth doesn't really like Punk. I believe Punk and Seth really don't like one another. Drew and Punk, I feel like they on screen are saying they don't like one another, but I feel like they were okay with one another in person. I could be wrong. Obviously, I'm not an insider. I have no idea about anything. I'm just literally a fan, just talking about what I see. But I don't think Punk and Drew have a real big problem with each other like Drew or like Seth and Punk have behind the scenes. But man, does it come off across on the screen like they do? My goodness, the things they were saying to one another. And I feel like CM Punk, one of my favorite parts about that whole segment is I feel like CM Punk kept throwing them off for some reason. I feel like he would say things here and there that was kind of like off script, kind of, just to throw them off, because like between the crowd with their chanting whatever they want to chant and not really going Seth's way, and even Seth mentioned what I thought was pretty cool. He said that I know I'm playing away. I got an away game tonight. Like usually the crowd's usually behind Seth Rollins, and even though they did cheer him, it's CM Punk City, man. Like they're gonna go for Punk all day. So no matter who you are. That's I liked that segment a bunch. You know, they all got their jabs in. You know what it reminded me of? That segment reminded me of AEW, but hear me out real quick. Because I've mentioned this in other videos before. AEW, sometimes their promos, whether it's one guy versus one guy or multiple guys in a whole... It's even worse when it's multiple guys. Like if there's 4 to 5 to 6 guys in a promo in AEW where, and I've mentioned it before, it's like they all try to make themselves stand out and look better than everyone else. Like they don't care as much about working together as a team and maybe setting up the other guy for a good line or something. It's more like, no, I want to get my stuff in and I want to make sure I look amazing and I'm funny and I have the zinger and I have the one-liner and I have the biggest insult. It's like all of them try to do that, whereas their promos start to become like more of like a back and forth of just like insult after insult, one-liner, and the whole crowd is just like, okay, you know, what are we getting at here? You know, like they'll take a cheap shot after cheap shot. That segment reminded me of that a little bit. And I didn't hate it. I actually really liked it. It was chaos. Like I'm watching it, I'm just like, geez, where are they going with this? Like, it was a lot. I loved it. Drew, not afraid to say what he has to say. Seth, not afraid. Punk, not afraid. Never, ever was afraid. And you could see that all three of their egos kind of just like took over, you know, like they all had to have that last word. They all had to have that funny line, that zinger, that something to get a crowd reaction, you know, like a sly little insult, which I loved. I thought it came out amazing, and that was the best segment. And yeah, I could not be more happier with the way that all went down. So CM Punk will be the commentator for that match, and that's going to be an interesting match for sure. Real quick, now that since we're on that topic, when Punk first came out. And he said, my mouth still works, which I still think is funny. It's just, my mouth was just like, what this dude is doing, man? So he says that, and then what I caught, and I'm sure you all heard it, and it made me think maybe Punk knows something we don't know, because he said, after he said that, you know, he kind of laughed at himself, and he was just like, hey, we're not on Netflix yet. That's for Netflix, which makes me think, maybe when Raw goes to Netflix, when WWE goes to Netflix, does this mean we're going to get edgier shows, edgier content? Are we going to get like TV 14, or are we moving away from PG? Because it certainly seems that way. And honestly, it would make sense. Like, why wouldn't it be? Why would it be PG on Netflix, right? We don't have commercials. There's probably not going to be commercials when it moves to Netflix. I don't even know if they're going to stay at 3 hours. They might. They might stay at 3 hours. They might go back down to 2. But it being on a streaming service, and you're opening it up to a whole brand new audience now, even more people could watch. I don't think it's going to be PG. I don't think it's going to happen right away. I don't think they're going to move away from it right away, but I think you're going to slowly see like a transition. Like they're going to start off PG. They might just keep the way it is right now, where there's PG, but there's elements of like TV 14 or some cuss words or whatever here and there. But I feel like we're going to get a lot more of that on Netflix. I hope they don't overdo it. I kind of like the whole balance of it being like family friendly, and then also it's got elements of a little more being a little more rough and a little more like, you know, TV 14ish. I mean, I grew up in Attitude Era, so of course I love that type of stuff. But I think when it's overdone, especially nowadays, I feel like it can get a little annoying, which is something I see AEW do a lot. And I'm not trying to make a video to bash AEW, but I know that when AEW first started, and they still do it, because it is an alternative to WWE, everybody's used to WWE's PG ways, that I feel like sometimes AEW just overuses the whole TV 14 deal. You remember, I don't know if you guys recall, and I'm not going to go off on a whole AEW thing here, but remember when AEW, first couple of years of AEW, I want you to go back and watch and count how many times in a match people were just flipping each other off. Like every match. Like it was every single match. Multiple tag team matches, singles matches, women's matches, don't matter. Every single match, people were just flipping each other off. And I'm like, we got to do this every match? Like, if it's not bleeding every match, people are flipping each other off every match. It kind of gets a little stale and boring after a while. Attitude Era, Stone Cold was flipping people off, and that was it. Not like every single match, not all night. But anyway, let me get off of AEW right now because this is not what it's about. Super excited for the CM Punk stuff. You guys let me know what you think about the CM Punk. What would you rather have him have done? Host, referee, compete, commentate, whatever. What do you guys think? Are you happy with this, or what do you think is going to happen with CM Punk? Do you think he's going to get involved or do anything? Leave it in the comments, or send me an email. wickedbitter@gmail.com. I mean, wickedbittermedia@gmail.com. I screwed that up. It's wickedbittermedia@gmail.com. Send an email. I just want to hear your thoughts anyway about how the WrestleMania card is shaping out. I mean, it's stacked, man. I can't wait for WrestleMania. Just a couple of weeks away, baby. Until then, though, this is it for now. I appreciate you checking out this video. If you haven't subscribed, I ask that you please do subscribe. It takes just 2 seconds to do. It really helps out this channel. It really helps me out. It really helps this channel grow and get bigger because that's my plan for it. I want this channel to get as big as it could ever get. I want all wrestling fans here. This is what I want. I want all the wrestling fans to come together and show up here on Wicked Bitter, and we could all talk about it and experience all of this together at the same time, especially right now where the product's hot. WWE is hot, and AEW is warming up too, so very good time to be a wrestling fan, and we would love to have you here on the channel. But until then, until the next video, you guys have a great week. I'll catch you on the next video, and always, stay bitter.